The Mountain That Glowed, a bedtime story inspired by Chapter 9, Gospel of Mark. One morning, as the mist still clung to the hills and the earth smelled of dew and olive trees, Jesus invited three of his closest friends, Peter, James, and John, to come with him on a quiet walk. They followed him up a tall mountain. The path curved between wild fig trees and tall grasses, and the higher they climbed, the quieter the world became. No crowds, no noise, only birds, breeze, and the soft crunch of their sandals on stone. At the top, they rested. The sky was wide and painted with soft gold, and the wind stirred their cloaks. Then something strange and beautiful began to happen. Jesus, standing in the stillness, began to shine, not with sunlight, but with something deeper. His robe turned dazzling white, glowing as though woven with starlight. His face gleamed with a brightness that warmed without burning. Peter shielded his eyes. Suddenly, two men stood beside Jesus, Moses and Elijah, heroes of old, radiant and wise. They spoke with Jesus gently, as friends who had waited a long time to speak again. Peter, overwhelmed, whispered, "Let us build shelters for each of you, so we can stay here." But just then, a soft cloud descended, wrapping around them like mist on the sea. From within the cloud came a voice, not loud, but deep and calm. "This is my beloved Son. Listen to him." And just like that, the cloud lifted. Moses and Elijah were gone. The light faded, and Jesus stood there, as he had before, smiling quietly as the wind danced past them. As they made their way down the mountain, Jesus told them not to speak of what they had seen, not yet, until the Son of Man had risen. The disciples nodded, but their thoughts were full, like jars filled to the brim. What could it mean? Rise from the dead? They did not ask, but they wondered. When they returned to the village below, noise and tension filled the air. A large crowd had gathered, surrounding the other disciples. In the center, a father held his young son, whose eyes flickered with fear. The father saw Jesus and ran to him. "Teacher," he cried, "I brought my son to your followers, but they could not help him. Please, if you can do anything." Jesus looked at him gently. "If I can," he repeated not unkindly. "Everything is possible for the one who believes." The man's voice trembled. "I believe. Help my unbelief." Jesus moved toward the boy, who suddenly cried out and fell, shaking. The crowd held its breath. With calm strength, Jesus bent down, took the boy's hand, and helped him stand. Peace settled over the child, and the father wept, his heart now light and grateful. Later, in the quiet of a home, the disciples asked, "Why couldn't we do it?" Jesus answered simply, "This kind only comes out by prayer." And they understood. Some things require not effort, but trust. As they journeyed again through the countryside, Jesus spoke softly to them. "The Son of Man will be handed over and killed, but after 3 days he will rise." They did not fully understand, but they walked beside him, knowing something deep and beautiful was unfolding. like a flower not yet in bloom. When they reached Capernaum, Jesus asked them a quiet question. What were you arguing about on the road? The disciples fell silent. They had been wondering who among them was the greatest. Jesus sat down and called over a child who came running with dusty feet and bright eyes. He lifted the child into his lap and said, "If anyone wants to be first, he must be last and servant of all." Then he looked at each of them, his voice as soft as the evening. "Whoever welcomes a child like this in my name welcomes me." The child nestled close. The disciples bowed their heads, and the wind whispered through the leaves outside. And so the day ended, not with noise, but with understanding, not with glory, but with love. And now, little one, as your eyes grow heavy, know this: there is a light that shines on mountaintops, a voice that speaks peace in the storm, and a love that lifts you gently, even in the dark. Sleep well beneath stars and silence, and rest in the warmth of the one who never leaves you. If this brought you a moment of peace, feel free to subscribe for more calming content each day. Now, dear one, as you close your eyes and let this day slip away, remember the one who does not break the bruised reed, the one who heals gently, who teaches with wisdom, who speaks with calm. He is the Lord of rest, the comforter of the weary, the keeper of your soul. May your dreams be filled with golden fields and quiet streams. May your heart rest in the peace of knowing you are seen, loved, and called family by the one who walks through grain fields, still speaks truth, and always offers rest. Good night. Sleep peacefully in his embrace.